There's a reason I still remember moments from Battlefield. Not because I played well, but because it left something with me. Like the times we'd be laughing cramming into an elevator at Siege of Shanghai, knowing full well we were about to get lit up, yet we still hit the button anyway. Obviously you're gonna lose that fight 9 out of 10 times. It wasn't smart, but fuck, it was fun. And the reason was because Battlefield didn't try to choreograph that moment. It just got out of the way. It gave us a sandbox filled with tension and trusted us to make something out of it. And that's really what this video is about. I'm not here to talk about just Battlefield and Ark. I'm here to talk about the kind of game design that lets the player take the lead, where the moments aren't handed to you, they just happen. And weirdly, the last time I felt that was in Ark Raiders, a dusty sci-fi extraction shooter with no campaign, barely any cutscenes, and somehow all the right ingredients. The kind of ingredients a lot of modern games have seemed to have forgotten. Ark doesn't force moments on you, it just gives you space to find them. And when you find them, it's not just another match, it's your moment. One that only happened because you were there. Some games hand you a story, the best ones hand you the pen. The thing is, for years now, it feels like shooters have been chasing some kind of perfect formula. Every year the movement gets smoother and the gunplay gets sharper. Every second of it is designed to reward you instantly. Fast, tight and efficient, but also kinda forgettable. Because the more that stuff improves, the less I actually feel anything when I play. You're rarely surprised, it's like they're scared to slow down. You load in, move fast, shoot faster, and keep the loop going. And don't get me wrong, that works for some people. Call of Duty has followed that design for years. God, why won't they stop? They're not trying to give you a moment. They're trying to inject you with dopamine. COD is the slot machine of the shooter world. It's a game that forges these types of skits fast. I've played hundreds of COD matches over the years, and I don't remember a single one. Funny enough, the stuff I do remember though, is things like cross-map tomahawk kills and Summit in Black Ops 1. The one thing the game wasn't trying to control. And yeah, it probably sounds like I'm just dunking on COD. And well, yeah, I kind of am. But back in its prime, that loop was great. World at War, Modern Warfare, Black Ops, they defined an era. It's just that we're on the 87th fucking version of that same loop, with barely anything new changing between them. It's getting a little tiring. To me, Battlefield felt different. And Ark Raiders, it reminds me of what made Battlefield special. They feel a little slower and messier, just way more unpredictable. And that's exactly what makes them exciting. They don't chase perfection. They just give you a sandbox full of moving parts and let you figure out the rest. And that's when it all starts to feel more alive. Because when something cool happens, it doesn't just feel like it was scripted or the game was trying to impress you. You do some dumb shit like throw C4 in a quad and launch it at a helicopter, but it doesn't reach. But then perfectly, another chopper flies into frame. You couldn't have planned a moment like that if you tried. But somehow, it still happened. And now it's a story that'll stick with you and you get to tell someone else later. And hey, show of hands. How many people's first Battlefield helicopter takeoffs went like this? They could have made flying easy like in every other game, but instead they gave us pitch, yaw, roll and said fuck it, good luck. And what we get from that is something you'll never get in any other game where you can fly a helicopter. And just to be clear, this isn't a video where I try to argue which franchise is better. This is purely just about a game design we don't see as much anymore. Especially not in modern big budget mass market games. It's a kind of design that doesn't fit neatly into a trailer, but when a game gets it right, it sticks with you. And there's a reason for that. When someone's trying to memorize something, like a phone number or a fact, the advice is always the same: put it in a story. The more bizarre the better. Because we don't just remember raw information. Our brains are wired to remember meaning, not just data. And I'm willing to bet, if you think back to your favorite gaming memories, you can probably piece together what was going on in your life at that time. What your room looked like, what kind of week you were having. Our brains literally hold on to things better with a little unpredictability, a break from the pattern. Like if you drove past a field and there was a purple cow in it, you're gonna fucking remember that. But the many normal cows you drive past all blur together. And I think that's what makes this kind of game design so powerful. Because when a game gives you just enough and gets out of the way, that's when the best stuff happens. You stop just playing the game and you start building memories. Not because it gave you the perfect match or the perfect loadout, because it gave you the room to make the moment yours. And once you feel that, it's hard to go back. That's why this kind of design stays with people, even if they don't realize why. But yeah, at its core, that's what this is all about. It's about a kind of design that trusts the player and leaves room for something real to happen. Not just a scripted cutscene, just you making a mess, finding a moment, and turning it into something that actually sticks. The coolest part of all of this, the people behind Ark are the same people who helped define the era of chaos I just talked about. It didn't just come out of nowhere. It came from people who helped build that chaotic sandbox in the first place. For anyone who doesn't know, Patrick Sutherland, the guy who used to run DICE and eventually became EA's chief design officer, left EA in August of 2018. And not long after that, he founded Embark Studios. But he didn't go alone. He brought a ton of talent with him. Developers who worked on pretty much every Battlefield, Mirror's Edge, Need for Speed, Dragon Age, FIFA, Skate, the list is ridiculous. And when you play Ark, you can feel it. It's a team that already knows how to stage chaos. And now they're asking, what happens when spectacle meets consequence? We'll come back to what Ark and Battlefield might still learn from each other later. But right now, Ark feels like it's carving its own story. The same sandbox instincts, but now with pressure. And suddenly, every choice matters. Back in the prime Battlefield days, the magic was in the chaos. Massive maps with chain reaction moments that just somehow happened. No one planned them, no one could. And that was the whole point. You were dropped into this big, evolving sandbox, and if you got lucky, something incredible happened. Ark still captures that feeling, but the rules have changed. Now it's not just about how cool the moment looked, it's about whether or not you made it out alive. You're still given the freedom to mess around, to take a weird angle, to try something that might not work, but now there's a lot more weight behind it, because if you die, you lose everything you brought in. Embark didn't remake Battlefield. They just made sure that in Ark, what you do has consequences. The first time I really felt connected to a game was in Battlefield Bad Company 2. I was a kid, probably too young to be playing online looking back. But somehow I ended up running with this squad of older players. They were probably in their 20s, I was maybe 12. They didn't care that I was younger, they were chill, funny, and weirdly kind. I even made sure to ask my mum if it was okay for me to play with them. That group changed my perspective on what games could have been at such a young age. It stopped being about chasing kills or XP, and started being about having fun, experimenting, and actually connecting with people. Making memories in the most unlikely ways. And since then, that became my North Star of what online games could feel like. Before that, I'd played a lot of Modern Warfare 2, like everyone else did. It was fast, sharp, iconic, but never really that welcoming. I heard more slurs in 1 week than I had in my entire life before it. Bad Company 2 stuck with me because it felt human. This game gave us this big messy sandbox, and somehow it left space for people to find themselves in it. Not because the matchmaking was amazing, but because the people were. Speaking of amazing people, we just hit 2,000 subs recently. If you're enjoying this video, I'd love if you join me on the push to 3,000. So now we're here, in this weird little sci-fi world where robots fall from orbit and raiders live underground. And somehow, it's exactly the kind of design I've been missing. Tension, silence, a world that pushes back, voices in proximity chat, panicking, laughing, trying to talk their way out of a fight.
You push while we sit back. You shot first.
Even things like the weather play a role. Not just setting the mood, but changing how you play. A sunny raid and a foggy one feels like completely different games. I actually made a full video breaking down how the weather works in Ark. Check it out if you're curious. But weather's just one part of it. The real kicker, you can lose everything. And that's where extracting comes in. The fact that you can lose everything at the end, even after 30 flawless minutes, adds a kind of pressure that never really lets up. Do we take the fight? Do we just hide? Do we risk going after the Bastion this raid? You feel the tension building, not just from enemies, but from silence, from the ticking clock, from the weight of what you might lose. And somehow, even the quietest moments start to feel like ones you'll remember. And whilst in the Texas this wasn't as fleshed out as you'd like it to be, the foundation's there and you can see where this is going. Ark doesn't feel like it's trying to copy anything directly. It just understands what made these older games stick. The stories. The ones that players wrote themselves. It's not that people suddenly started wanting something different. They've always wanted more than just polish and instant rewards. It's just that now, more players are actually chasing it. Take Escape from Tarkov. It's brutal, unforgiving, and honestly, too much for a lot of people. But what it nails is the stakes. That feeling of limping towards an exit with one clip left and no idea if someone's watching you. You don't play Tarkov to win, you play it to survive. Games like DayZ brought something else entirely. It was about weird social moments as much as it was about survival. You'd run into someone hosting a sadistic game show in one life.
We're gonna go to the game show floor. Before you, there is 3 guns.
And then walk into a room of cannibals in the next. And when you'd log off, you'd sit there going, what in the fuck just happened? The game never handed you a story. It just handed you a world and let the weirdness unfold.
Dude, what you doing?
Then there's games like Lethal Company. Had the same kind of underlying game design, but a totally different tone. Screaming, jump scares, your friend drowning.
What are you doing?
Someone's falling.
No! Foolish jump!
No! No! I can't jump! I can't jump! I'm jumping! I'm jumping! Guys, no,
It's all about the chaos of trying to survive and watching it all fall apart in the dumbest way possible. And then there were the early battle royales, like early PUBG, the first months of Fortnite, where a win felt like lightning in a bottle. It'd end and your heart would be pounding and your hands would be shaking.
Behind you! Behind you! Behind you!
No! Hit it for 150!
It didn't feel like a grind, it felt like a story you'd remember. That's what this weird hybrid genre of extraction shooter survival proximity chaos is bringing back. There's more to lose, but more to experience. And when the stakes go up, the memories start forming, because suddenly even the stupid moments start turning into something unforgettable.
Oh my fuck.
And I think that's what more people are chasing now. Not just a win, but something that's stuck. So with all that in mind, let's bring it back to Ark and Battlefield. Because even though they came from the same legacy, they've taken very different lessons. So let's dig into that. Here's the thing. Other than release dates, Ark Raiders and Battlefield aren't really in competition with each other. They feel like siblings, cut from the same cloth, but shaped by different eras. And honestly, I think they could learn something from each other. Ark, for one, could definitely pick up a few things from Battlefield, like dynamic map changes, events, or shifts that make the world feel alive mid-match. Or maybe leaning a little harder into the chaos sandbox, like more vehicles, wilder terrain, and the kind of unpredictable chain reactions Battlefield used to thrive on. It doesn't need to go full 64-player Warzone or become a vehicle sim, but if it keeps expanding its sandbox without losing that grounded high-stakes tension, it could really hit a rare balance. Because there's something powerful in scale, the space to improvise, and if Ark taps into even a little more of that, it could go from great to unforgettable. And then there's Battlefield. It could have taken a few notes from Ark 2, especially after 2042, because at some point, Battlefield started trying so hard to create memorable moments that it forgot how to let them just happen. Every match felt like it was pushing a moment on you, over the top set pieces, massive explosions. Like, hey, look, isn't this fucking sick? The older Battlefields didn't have to scream in your face. They gave you room, and just enough space to try something dumb and either watch it play off or fail miserably. It feels like Ark still trusts that.
Oh! Help! Help!
And with the next Battlefield around the corner, I really hope it remembers what made those moments matter. So here we are, same routes, different paths. Ark Raiders trying something new, and Battlefield hopefully getting back to what made it great. And I hope that they both land, because when these games are at their best, they're not really about the scoreboard. They're more about what stays with you. The raid where you limped out with 3 bullets and no health. The match where the C4 plan actually worked. The squad that fell apart halfway through, and somehow that made it even better. Ark Raiders might be the start of something bigger. Not just another extraction loop. Not just another trend-chasing release. But a reminder that the best moments in games don't always come from polish or perfection. Sometimes they come from chaos, from silence, from just enough tension to make something real. Because not all of us are here to top the leaderboard. Some of us don't want to be the best. We want a story worth telling. Like that elevator. You hit the button anyway. Speaking of hitting buttons, if you enjoyed this, it would mean a lot if you subscribed and liked the video. And if you have any fun, memorable stories from Battlefield, Ark, or just any game really, I'd love to hear it. Thanks for watching, take care.